next the next question is mine. It says, "Why do you think Frank was so taken aback by Chan holding Malia's picture?" I really believe that when Frank came downstairs and he saw Chan in the formal living room and he's holding a picture of Malia, I think it was just like, it was almost like the walls were closing in on Frank. This is real. This is actually happening. When this man told you that you better make this woman love me, you better put some things in motion to make this easier for me to acquire what I'm wanting to acquire. I just feel like and also like this was the first time that Frank had seen him. So you're coming downstairs, you turn the corner, you go into this room, and this man who you feel like is the epitome of evil is holding your child's picture. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh my God, my little girl. Malia's a grown woman. I don't care how grown you are, you still your parents' baby, always. And so for him to be holding her picture, I do feel like it caused Frank to just freak out a little bit. I just feel like it was all just so real. He's here for her. This is happening regardless of if I want it to happen or not. This is real. Like, this isn't something I'm just still having nightmares about. He is really here in my house. He knows my address. I didn't send it to him. He just shows up. Like he said, I'll be there at 6:00. He was here, it's happening. I think he was like, there's nothing I can do to prevent this. I can't go to the police. Can't tell my family. I think it was just really scary for him to know that. I mean, somebody who you believe is a monster wants your child, and you're like, well, what would he do to her? Is she gonna be chained up in a warehouse being beaten because she didn't speak to him like the high valued man that he is? I mean, I'm trying to figure this out. Like, we gotta stop laughing. We have to stop laughing at that word. It's such a funny word, because the people who say it are so crazy when they say it. Right?
Kills me, because every time I've heard it, it's come from some dusty. Yeah, it's high value. I'm like, what? I think great value, and so I just start like laughing when I hear that.
Safeway Select,
great value.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. So I cannot hear that phrase without laughing.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean to cut in there.
No, I was done. I said it because I knew I was ending that. So,
well, I think the reason Frank was taken back, that's his baby. And like Corenna said, this is like for real. This isn't imagined. This isn't, this isn't a rumor. It isn't a bad dream. He's coming, he's already in his house, and then you come in the living room and, you see somebody holding a picture of your baby. That's why it wouldn't have gone that far. I'm like, finish me off, untie me and finish me off. I'm not offering you any of my kids. No. I'll be damned if you whoop my ass and I come out the bedroom after my wife made dinner for you, and you're in my house holding a picture of my kid. Nah, it ain't going that far. Like I said, my kids will have a decent service for me. Just finish me off. Let me fight back and finish me off.
Die with some dignity.
Yeah. But as far as Frank go, because, he's scary and he's like, okay, yeah, you can have my baby. But now it was real. This man was in his living room checking out his baby. Really, I think he saw all the pictures of the daughters, but of course he was taken by Malia's picture. So, yeah, that could be scary. That could be scary.
Yeah, I think it was like adding insult to injury. You didn't already beat me within an inch of my life, and then force me to have to give my daughter to you. And then you gonna come in my house and you up here rubbing her picture I'm limping down the stairs. You didn't even offer me no hand. You didn't even offer me no help. I'm limping down the stairs, and now you in here rubbing my. She gonna be here in 10 minutes, nigga. Put the picture down. Like.
Oh, you can't wait.
Like, dang it! Like, I mean, Chan is just going for it every step of the way. He is just rubbing it in Frank's eye, and it is just eating Frank up inside. So.
I love what you said. Yeah, you're right, because when Chan was holding her picture, it said that he was like, he took his finger and he was tracing her lips. So he must have been like, Oh, she got some juicy lips, baby. Oh yeah. Need to bite that bottom lip. Well, he was just probably really in his mind, just like, oh yeah. Okay. Frank to walk in, like, what are you doing to the picture? I mean, that would have been alarming. You've been molesting the photo, like.
Sandy, I need you to come wipe this picture down. Come get this picture and wipe it. Spray some Lysol on it.
Oh my
Frank's just gonna throw that picture away. He's just gonna
Yeah,
throw it out.
Burn
Like,
it.
have that memory.
God. Burn it. It'll be here forever. Next question is yours, Kyrie.
Sandy is pushing Chan toward Malia, and she just met him. Is this how she was with Mike and Malia, trying to force them together? Oh, absolutely, absolutely, 100, 1000%. That's just her MO. She sees them dollar signs. Oh, you're a great match. She doesn't care about character and all that other stuff. Like, you
She care
look
about the
good on
money.
paper, you look good in them pictures, and I hope you got some money for your mother-in-law. You know,
There you go.
that's all she
Taking care of the in-laws.
Right.
That's so true.
Yeah, I believe that, just like Kyrie said, I believe that, Sandy's looking at dollars. She's looking at career. She's looking at long, like those, there's a, I forget what religion it is, but there's actually a couple of cultures that do the prearranged marriages. They don't ask their child or whatever. They're just like, you know what? We're a prominent family. They're a prominent family. We're going to make this deal and our kids are going to marry and keep the line. And I think Sandy kind of is like that,
Right.
she's already a little different from society. I get the feeling she may not have came from the mud, but she's off. She's self-made and she wants to keep that going. It's like our level or somebody that could upgrade you. So
Yeah,
she's looking at the dollars.
definitely.
She's looking at he's a businessman, no kids, no tie-ups, no nothing like that. This is a
No
perfect
tie-ups.
match. And the same thing with Mike. Mike was a hoe, but he ain't have kids nowhere, at least as far as we know. He may have a few running around Rose City.
Somewhere.
But yeah, I believe she's definitely the type to push them together based on like finances and other than love and stuff. It's like, all right, that's cool. You might grow to love him, but for right now, go that way. Put that ring on. Right.
No, I totally agree with everything you said. I think this is very reminiscent of what Sandy saw with Mike and Malia. Like, okay, he's good looking. He comes from the right family. He's heading in all the right directions. He has a trust fund. Absolutely. Like Alicia said, Sandy's not thinking about chemistry and love and connection. She's like, that can grow later on. And if it doesn't, just get you a little pool boy or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about
Little thing.
yeah, put you a little ting. So I think that I think that Sandy is very much like big picture here. She's looking at Chan because she started asking questions. She ran upstairs and was like, Frank, this man is handsome and he's tall, he's sexy, and she just starts going down the list. Like, I know he's got some money, and he's like, oh, you only like him because you think he has money. She's like, correction. I know he's got some money. She starts talking about the man's. She was like, correction, but she starts talking about the man's cufflinks. She was like, those are Cartier, and those are gold, and it's encrusted with diamonds. And she's like, and that's an Armani suit, and that's been tailored to his body. And she was like, oh, and it's nice, like he's well built. Sandy is like, those cufflinks alone is about $15,000. She's like, I'm not sure what he drives for his car. I didn't look outside the window, but I know he's riding tough. So yeah, she's like thinking herself like, he ain't black, but baby, he fine. I'm thinking Sandy's looking like might be out of our normal, black excellence circle that we roll in, the affluent black people. But something's telling me he gonna do real well over here with us. Like, something's telling me, yeah, okay. So she's looking at the situation like, he's good looking. My daughter's fine. On paper, this is going to make a lot of sense. You know, Malia is successful in her own right. I mean, I would have wanted her to do something different, but the girl is bringing in money. You know what I'm saying? And she ain't out here trapping it. Okay. He has businesses. Clearly, he's here to offer us a solution about this financial debacle that, you know, Frank has gotten Malia and this family into. So I think in Sandy's mind, she was already thinking, if he liked Malia, I mean, what that interest rate gonna look like though? Can we have 0%? I mean, she was like, "Don't you try to hike nothing up to no 24% APR?" She like, forget that. We gonna just pay back the principal. There won't be no interest if you want to deal with my daughter. Like we have to have some bargaining chips here. Sandy ain't playing. Sandy's not playing. Go ahead, Kyrie. What you want to say?
Yeah, and you know what came to mind? Frank's doing all this offering up Malia. Sandy seemed like she would offer up Malia for the right price too.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, absolutely. Sandy's a hustler, baby. She just wants you to know. You know what I'm saying? She about to show you where she's coming from here. So yes, I definitely think that this is very reminiscent about how some families in Rose City kind of get down when they feel like it could be a good match. They start putting their fingers in the pot and swirling around because she started asking Chan, "Oh, I don't see a ring on your finger. Are you married?" And Chan was like, "No, not." Or, "Are you interested?" Like she wanted to know. Let's not beat around the bush because we don't date, baby. Like we out here marrying, okay? So are you interested in marriage? He was like, "Yes, I'm interested in marriage and I want to have a family." And Sandy's like, "Okay, Leah, don't you F this up." Like in her mind, she's like, "Okay, he's talking my language, you know?" So yeah, I definitely feel like Sandy was, and even there was something in the book where Sandy's like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna work out nice for me. I mean, for us as a family." But Sandy was like, "For me first, because if my son-in-law is a super successful man, my daughter is going to be living good, and that's going to have somehow, some way, come trickling down to me." Sandy's not no fool. She's not.
Okay, so wow. Chan repeated what Frank said about Chinese thugs beating him up. Frank seemed scared. What do you think Frank will do now that he knows he's being watched from his home? It seemed like that shook him up. If I'm on the phone with Curie, or I'm just in a room with her, and I'm like, yeah, because Corenna, I did something wrong with her, and then we come out in the living room. She's like, yeah, because something wrong with me. I'll be like, oh shit, like, how you know? Like, what you didn't know that conversation, ma'am? So yeah, I think it's because that's something one, he let slip, and then two, he thought in the privacy of his bedroom. He's in his bedroom, I believe, with his wife, getting
Right.
ready to come
Mhm.
down for dinner, and he just said something to his woman, and Chan, I think he did again in all his boldness, was letting him know, like, yo, nigga, I could hear you. Like,
Mhm.
I heard what you said, and you right. You could get beat up by some Chinese thugs. Um, so yeah, Frank was definitely scared. What he's going to probably do is be look, because it's like, how did he hear that? He don't have supernatural hearing. Now our house must be bugged. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't think
No
it's
supernatural
demons.
hearing over here.
No supernatural crap. So he's probably going to be looking for cameras or looking for stuff now, and then probably watching what he says. Um,
That part.
but then again, yeah, he wouldn't know, like, wouldn't be like, oh, let's go in the bathroom so they can't hear us. It's like, you don't know where the cameras and stuff and microphones are in your house. So I think he's going to be searching for that, probably watching what he says. And yeah, he's scared. He's like, oh God, this man, he knows stuff. So he's probably gonna watch his back if he's smart and don't want to get beat up by
Right.
Chinese thugs again.
Them
He's
thugs.
gonna watch his back. Yeah, he's definitely gonna watch his back and what he says. That's my answer. Phone keeps.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be more cautious and careful. And if Chan corners him again, he's going to be apologizing and be a coward as he is, and probably offer up another daughter. Who the hell knows?
You want another one? I mean, she got a couple kids that she married, but we can get her out of that. Don't
Right.
you worry. Don't you worry.
So Frank seems to do some pretty low stuff when he gets into desperate positions and places. So yeah, he's gonna continue to be the punk that he is. So
I fully agree. So what happened was, in the context of how did this situation even come about, Sandy went to the kitchen to get, because Malia's still not there yet. So Chan is sitting down in the formal living room, and Sandy went to go get the drinks. And during that time, Frank's kind of giving attitude. He's just doing the most. And he said something, and Chan just needed to remind him, what the situation was, because you're not in control of any team. And he had to let him know, oh yeah, you wouldn't want some Chinese thugs to beat you down again. And so at this point, it's very clear to Frank, like Alicia said, this man don't have no supernatural hearing. He didn't hear that. This house is bugged. But if we remember back a few chapters, when Malia left to go to the hospital, immediately there was a crew that went into her apartment, bugged her place. And it said there was different crews dispatched. And some people were going to her businesses with an S, and bugging those areas. Her condo was bugged, and even her parents' house was on that list. So it just goes to show you that, I don't know, maybe Chan has some type of listening device in his ear, and he was like, oh, okay, so I hear y'all upstairs talking. So Frank he's afraid, and he should be, because now you're starting to realize, wait a minute, you really do have me in a bad situation. You really got me looking crazy out here in these streets, and there ain't nothing I can do about it. You really have me bugged. You're listening to my conversations. What will be his next step? I don't know. Probably try not to pee on himself at this point, because there's not a whole lot he can do. And even if he found a bug, they're gonna put it back in the house again. And Frank would probably have to hire a company, which I don't think he has the money for that right now, because he's blown so much money on this wedding, to come in and professionally sweep for bugs. Again, even if he did, Chan is crazy enough to wait until everybody's at church or at the grocery store and have it done again. You know what I mean? He is going to do what he wants to do, and you are in his world now. So it's not a whole lot Frank can do besides watch his mouth. And it's sad, to think you can't even be in your house and share your own intimate thoughts. At home is where you can really be yourself. That's why people always say you don't really know people until you live with them. Even if you're best friends, you're like, I didn't know you was like this. Live with people and you find out. And so Chan has this ability now to kind of see what people are like in their private time together, or what they think or what they do when they think that nobody's watching. So there ain't nothing that Frank can do besides be scared and really try to watch his mouth. So,